Hi everyone, and welcome to this tutorial on how to upload an ExamView document to the Schoology website. So I've made this practice ExamView quiz so that we can just use it to demonstrate how to do this. So after you make your quiz or test, you hit File, make your quiz, you hit File, and then you want to hit Export. And from that drop down, you want to select Blackboard 7.1 to 9.0. And then you want to name your quiz. And I like to just copy this because I'm going to have to write it a couple more times. And I like to save it to my desktop. It's just an easy place to find it when I'm going to need it in a second. Then you hit Export. You write that name. Two places it says name. So after I have made the quiz and saved it, I'm going to open up the internet. I'm going to go to Schoology. In my Schoology now, I'm going to click on the course that I've created, and I'm going to click Add Materials. You go to Add a Test or Quiz. You give it a title. You go down to Category and say Ungraded. And then you can leave everything else alone and hit Create. Once you're here, it'll say Add Question. So you're going to go down and import a test or a quiz. You're going to select Blackboard 7.1 to 9.0. Then hit Next. Then you're going to click on this little icon here. And I've saved it to my desktop. Of course, I saved it twice. So it should look like this, a zip file. Click Choose, and then Import. And then your question will be here. Next, you want to go to, or all of your questions will be here. I only made 3. That's why there's only 3. Next, you go to Settings. And you want to select your options. So you can write some instructions at the top if you would like. And then you can decide what you want to do for submissions. You can either just set it to enable and students can take it anytime as long as it's still on enable. You can say you're going to open it now on this day, but you're going to close it. You're going to open it on today, but you're going to close it on Friday. And then you can also add a time by 1 p.m. on Friday. That means they cannot take this quiz anytime after that. Okay? And then I normally have no time limit when we're working in class, but I'm going to set a time limit because they're working remotely. That way, I know it's open book, but they're really limited as to how much they can look up. That might encourage them to study a little bit more, maybe. So I'm going to say 10 minutes is good, is plenty of time, even for my stragglers, because that gives everyone enough time to complete it without maybe looking up every answer. Attempt limit, you want to say how many times they can go in it after they've already gone into the quiz, like go back and go out. I just keep this at 1 time. I haven't played with this too much. So randomize the order means that one student's number 1 isn't the same as someone else's. They're scrambled. So I'm going to say yes. And then you leave everything else alone. I would highly recommend leaving question review alone. Sometimes students think that they've hit a submit button because they don't read so carefully. And actually, it was just a button that took them, you do submit, but then a whole new page comes up with all of your answers. And if you scroll down, it will say, are you finishing, like reviewing, whatever, like it's being posted. So there are 2 prompts. So I just like the one clean prompt, and then they know they've submitted it, and they don't just walk away. And then I'm like, why is Billy still in his test? So I'm going to say resumable, no. They can't go back into it. And then viewing their submissions. So if I'm like right before a test and I want them to have their quizzes to review, I'll come back in and go to yes with correct answers. This means they can see the question, they can see all the answers, and they can see a mark next to which one was the correct answer. This one I never use, which is just like, yes, they can see their submission and see which questions they got wrong, but they won't know the right answer. Still, I don't need them to have that information, especially working remotely. So I'm just going to select no. That means that if they're accessing it on a laptop, they'll be able to go in and see their score. Oh, I got a 6 out of 7. But they won't be able to see which questions they got wrong. So that's the option that I pick. And then I save changes. And then it's all set. You can preview it if you want. And then this is where you would see the results right here. Okay, then you go back out to the main page of your course Schoology site. And there's your quiz. And it's all set. So I hope you found this helpful, and let me know, reach out if you have any more questions. Thank you.